Hi, it's Tracy from Two Rocks Tarot, and in this week's Tarot Tips and Tricks, I'm going to be talking about trusting your intuition when it comes to reading the tarot, and also how to spot a fake tarot reader, which kind of seems like a funny subject matter to put together, but it's not actually really. So to bear with me. So how this come about, spotting a fake tarot reader, was I was at the hairdresser's last week, and the young lady who does my hair, she was saying how we got to talking, and I don't usually tell people that I'm a tarot reader, just, you know, in general conversation, but for some reason I told her I was a tarot reader, and she said, I can't believe this. She said, this morning I asked the universe to send me a sign of a tarot reader. I wanted a tarot reader, and then I turned up. So to cut a long story short, she ended up booking a reading from me. But while we were talking, she said that her and her sister got a reading from somebody in Bunbury, which is like a country sort of town in Western Australia. And so it's about 4 hours from where we live here in Two Rocks. And when she got the reading, he said to her that she had a curse on her. But he also said exactly the same thing to her sister, and when they compared readings, basically he gave the same reading for both of them. So obviously he didn't realise that they were related when he did this, and when they put them side by side, he basically said the same thing. So on how to spot, on how to spot a fake tarot reader is just that. When things like that come out of their mouth, they say that you've got a curse that needs to be removed. They then offer to remove the said curse through a sum of money, or they also suggest that they need to do more readings on this curse so they can get a better idea of where it's coming from. And they might try and get you to do, you know, another half a dozen or more readings just on this subject matter, and they'll keep on saying things like, I can't really see. You know, I'm not gleaning information. Are you sure you're concentrating when you're asking me the question? Are you praying, or anything of that type of nature? They'll say things like that. This is really hard to believe in 2020, but it does happen. It's been happening for many, many years. And this is why tarot readers in general have such a bad rap, because it's from unscrupulous people such as this guy. He was only a young guy as well, making out that their clients have got curses and they need to, you know, pay them a large sum of money in some cases, or just keep constantly giving them readings, or even saying they've removed the curse, and the next time they have, and you know, but book a reading a month down the track and we'll see how you're going, and then say, no, it's still there, I can still see it, I need more money to, and people get sucked in. And the reason people get sucked in is because mostly when they come to see a tarot reader is because they are at an emotionally low point in their lives, okay? They want help. And it's really disgusting that there are people out there like that do that sort of thing. So they prey on the vulnerabilities of people who are emotionally at a low point. Now, if these people suffer from a mental illness as well, they're taking advantage of them. They just might be a little bit mentally challenged as well, and they take advantage of them. They're just terrible people. And if you look at I think it's pronounced Quora Digest, if you have a look at the tarot reading section on questions that people ask, there are such derogatory comments on how that we're all con artists. There's no such thing as a tarot reader. You know, they're all they're after is your money, and blah blah blah. They're not true. I mean, you know, we've all heard it before. So this is a thing that we're up against. And when people are out there like that, actively saying that people have curses on them, it really makes it hard for us genuine tarot readers to make a living, to be honest. It's true. And when I was here at the local markets, and this is more prevalent than you think, about a couple of months, or no, longer than that now, it was before the COVID started, so it might have been actually late last year. Every Sunday, last Sunday of each month, there's usually a local markets where there's lots of, you know, crystal healers and tarot readers that come. And I actually went to one because I wanted to suss it out. I wanted to see if I should actually do it, you know, read the tarot. Just walking into that tarot reading area, I could tell straight away who was in it for the money, who was fake. You know, you get this when you've been reading as long as I have, and you know, and I'm sure it's like that for many of you out there. You can read the energy around. You can read the energy around a person. You can tell if they're genuine or if they're fake or whatever like that. You know, I can only remember one time in my life going to one of these type of fairs and seeing one lady who was late 60s, maybe 70, who was a palm reader, and I knew looking at her that she knew her shit, you know. She wasn't there to bullshit anybody. She knew what she was doing, all right? And that's once that I've actually managed to. So I don't know what it is about these fairs, but a lot of these fairs attract that type of charlatan type of people. Now, I'm not saying that everybody who goes to the fairs are, but, you know, a good half of them are. They're just in it for the money. And as I was walking past one young lady, my husband, because I'm deaf, my husband said to me, "Did you hear that?" And I said, "No." And he goes, "She just said that she had a curse on her, and that if she pays her a sum of money, I think it was $60 or something like that, she'd remove the curse from her." I could not believe it. I could not believe it. So I sort of done a little semicircle and I walked back past. I was just curious to see what type of cards that she had, and she just had a pack of Doreen Virtue angel cards. Now, if you like Doreen Virtue, that's fine. If you like her cards, a lot of people work with them, but we all kind of know what happened to her, don't we? So it's kind of interesting that she's using angel cards and saying that there's a curse on somebody. So I was looking all around. I was just curious to see what cards they read. Most of them were oracle cards, angel cards, and I think there was about 2 or 3 people who read the Rider-Waite cards, and there was nothing else like that. So I just feel sorry for people who generally want to get a consultation, and then they're met with somebody like that who wants to take advantage of them, you know. And you could see her, when I looked at the lady who was her client, and she had like real beady eyes, like watching her. You could tell that she was picking for a vulnerability on her client, at the lady. I could tell looking at that lady, she was quite sad. Just thinking back on it now, she's probably gone through a breakup or something like that. And then only to be told that you've got a curse on you, and then would lead her to believing that perhaps it was something that she did to cause the things that were happening in her life. When you're emotionally low, you know, you will tend to believe things like that. You tend to believe the worst of yourself. And to have somebody come and prey on that is really despicable. So I wanted to, because I was very surprised, you know, when my hairdresser told me that, you know, because I'd forgotten about that lady when we were in the fair until she brought that up, and it made me remember that. So of course I told her, you know, it was a crock of shit. And then when I got home, she'd actually booked a reading with me, and now she's had 2 readings with me now, and she's really, really happy. But I wanted to point it out about trusting your intuition when it comes to choosing a tarot reader. So if they do tell you that you have got a curse on you, don't believe it. That you need to pay a sum of money towards them to remove the said curse, don't believe it. And also, you know, about constantly saying that you need more readings to get to the bottom of it, sort of things, don't believe it. So when it comes to your intuition, not only in reading cards, but when it comes to choosing a tarot reader, really trust with what your body reactions are when you first look at the person, when you meet them, when you talk to them, how they interact with you through emails. Some of them may even offer a free reading. You know, ask one question, do it, but ask something that you know to be true, okay? And it's kind of like a general question, but something that you know to be true, but make out that you don't know what's going on, sort of thing. And see if they hone in on it. See if they are correct. So if you, let's say for instance, you've just broken up with somebody, and you want to know if you will get back together with this person, but you know in your heart that it's over and done with because you're actually interested in somebody else already. You've met somebody else, but just to try and see if they are true. You know, if they're going to be truthful with you. So I suppose is what I'm trying to get out. So if they come back to you and say, oh, yes, you're going to get back together in a month's time, I foresee marriage, I foresee children, da, 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 you know that they're trying to pull the wool over your eyes. However, if they come back to you and say, I don't really see you getting back with this person, I see you meeting somebody in the future, and in fact you may have even already met them, then you know that that reader is being truthful with you. And then you can go ahead and have a sort of a clear conscience that if you purchase a reading from them, that they're going to give you, you know, a true and accurate answer as much as they can. Because let's face it, it works both ways with tarot readers and clients. Clients like to lie to tarot readers to see if they can trip you up. You know, it happens to me all the time because I read professionally online for future me. And often they will, you know, they'll try and trip you up by having a lie. And you can... when you've been reading for a long time, sometimes you can just tell by the question that they ask. But as you delve into the question and you know, do the reading, you can pretty much tell when that's happening. So, you know, as a client yourself who's looking for a tarot, don't lie. Be honest and open with them. Ask what you're looking for. And if you get the reading back and it doesn't resonate with you, for goodness sake, don't just leave a bad review. Say, look, it doesn't resonate with me, that didn't happen, this happened, or I want to know more about this. You know, be truthful with them. There's no harm in knowing. And in fact, some of my best readings that I've done is occasionally I get a reading and I really struggle with it. I find it really, really hard. It's a real effort to get it out because I only do email readings, so I don't have that advantage of seeing people's reactions when they, you know, when they read my reading or anything like that, because I don't read face to face. Purely because I'm deaf and it is hard. If there's background noise, I can't hear anything. So it's pointless for me, you know, struggling to do things like that. So I just do email readings. So I haven't got that advantage of seeing their reactions of you know, when they're reading my reading for them. But I do tell them. I say I've really struggled with this. I found it hard, and all the time they write back to me and they say, "I'm so glad you said that you struggled because I'm struggling with this issue too, and I'm glad it was hard for you because I know, you know, you're honest with me, you know, that type of thing." I had, when I still had an Etsy shop, I did do a Grand to Blue, a Lenormand reading for a lady. Now, she didn't ask me any questions. In fact, she actually thought I was selling the deck itself. That's what she was after. And then, you know, I gave, you know, and then it was a reading. But anyway, she bought this reading off me. She didn't ask any question whatsoever. And then when and anybody who knows, who does a Grand to Blue, it's quite a detailed reading. And when you are typing it out, it can be up to 10, 15 pages long. That's why I don't offer them anymore on my website. It's just too much. It's too much writing to do. I'd rather do that face to face when I can, okay? So, and then she said, "Oh, look, you know, you didn't, what about my book? What about this?" You know, she was quite, how can I say it? She was quite, come across it quite angry because I didn't pick up on anything like that. But if you're doing a general reading, how are you supposed to know that they are divorced? If they're in a relationship, if they're happy in the relationship, if they're unhappy in the relationship, you know, if people just put relationship in the question, you've got to give the tarot reader some type of leeway. Say that you're in a marriage, you're unhappy. You're in a marriage, it's blah, it's so. You know, give them something so they can work on it, because there's just so many different aspects that you can look at just a relationship from, can't you? Let's be honest with each other. So anyway, I wrote back to her, and because I always keep all my readings, and I had a look at it again and I answered her concerns. And she was really, really happy. And in the end, before I closed my Etsy shop, I think she bought about 8 different types of readings from me and gave me a wonderful review as well. So what could have been a really awkward, uncomfortable, negative feedback turned out to be really, really good, because I didn't take offense at it. I mean, she should have asked the right questions and elaborated a bit more. But sometimes when you are upset, you can't articulate what it is that you mean. And it ended up being, you know, I had got a really good customer out of her. So if you are a tarot reader and you do get a negative type of review, go back to your client, ask them about it. And if you are a client, you get a reading that you're not happy with, well, then ask them, you know, like just go back and say, look, it didn't resonate with me, and ask questions. There's no harm in doing that. And if the tarot reader takes offense to you, you know, giving them some negative feedback, well, then that's their problem, that they can't accept negative feedback, because we all make mistakes as readers, as do clients as well. You know, none of us are perfect. I'm not a perfect tarot reader. Just because I've been reading for many, many years doesn't mean that I'm perfect. So You know, trust goes in both ways. But when it comes to using your intuition, if you get a good overall feeling about this person, then trust it. Listen to your body, you know, listen to your body. I know for me, when I am about to do a tarot reading and I'm shuffling the cards, my hands go numb and my fingers tingle. And I always know it's going to be a good reading. And I always know too, if I buy a new deck and the first time I shuffle it, it does that, I know that we're going to have a good connection with it. So that's what I'm talking about, intuition. So that's, I think I've covered in a nutshell when it comes to tarot readers. Now, when it comes with tarot cards, the same thing goes. I don't know how many times I got told when I first started to read Lenormand back in 2000, that you can't read it intuitively. Okay, it's a crock of crap. Of course you can read it intuitively. Don't let anybody tell you you can't read the Lenormand, the Kipper, or anything on that along them lines intuitively. It's just, it's ridiculous. So when it comes to tarot cards and you look at a card for the very first time, so let's just say you're looking at I don't know, you're asking if you're going to get a job, all right? And then, you know, you lay out your cards and you might get the 3 of Cups. And then you think, you look at it and you think, oh, yes, I'm going to get it, you know. Then that might be the right, that'll be the right reaction. So if you look at the 3 of Cups and you've gone for a job and you get that and you think straight away, yes, I'm going to get the job, go with that feeling. Don't doubt yourself, okay? You might look at the 3 of Cups and you think, I might get another couple of other job offers that might be better off for me in the long run. That's the right thing for you to believe in the 3 of Cups. Some others might look at the 3 of Cups and think, I don't know if I like working with them groups of girls, because, you know, if you look at the 3 of Cups, just a normal general 3 of Cups image, you know, there's usually 3 ladies that are celebrating, but there are images that are, I don't think I've got the deck near me, that where the girls are quite close together, all looking in their cups, and then you might think to yourself, they're such a tight-knit group, I don't think there's room for me, I don't think I'll fit in, I might even pass this job up if they offer it to me. Others might think too much micromanaging going on there. Everyone's going to be like nitpicking each other's work. So you can see what I mean. There's so many different answers for will I get the job, and a reader having a look and pulling the 3 of Cups. Okay. So whatever, so while I was rattling off all these different things, I was thinking about the 3 of Cups, and you think to yourself, oh yeah, micromanaging, that really resonates with me for the 3 of Cups. There's your answer. So trust yourself. When the very first time you set eyes on a card, when you've asked a question and it says micromanaging, celebration, you know, even if it says the Tower, you're going to trip over when you walk to the letterbox. If something like that comes to your mind, go with it. That's your intuition talking to you. I can't stress it enough. So when I first started doing spirit messages, so those of you who have followed my channel for a while, I've been doing these only a couple of years, so I haven't been doing them very long, but I've noticed this sort of gift that I've got has been getting stronger and stronger, and they do come spontaneously in my crystal readings as well. So I've had pets and I've had, you know, family and everything, you know, well, not my family, but, you know, other messages coming through, spirit messages. And how this actually came about was I had the, actually I should get it, haven't I? I'll just go and grab it. I'm pretty daggy what I'm wearing today, so don't look at it. I've got my favourite t-shirt on. It's getting really old at the back. So I had the Oracle of Vision. So this is what I read with my spirit messages. And how this came about was I didn't resonate with this deck. All right. I just didn't. I think the pictures are beautiful. I love the artwork on this deck. I truly, truly do. But I just couldn't read with it. It wasn't speaking to me. So I was looking at this deck one day and I'm going through all the images and I'm thinking, and there was an Instagram challenge going on about connecting with your spirit guides. And there was another deck that I had packed away for 15 years that a few days before I put back out on my shelf, and that was the Celtic Dragon Tarot. I thought, I'm just going to see how this works. And in the end, that deck actually screams to me now. It resonates so well with me. So the reason I tell you that is I'm not telling you that you have to keep decks for 15 years, but sometimes you're not ready for the messages that they give you with a particular deck. So I've got a really good bond now with that deck, but I just wasn't ready for it. So after I'd done that particular Instagram challenge, I was looking at this deck, so I was thinking of getting rid of it. And then I thought, I wonder if I just ask, what would happen if I asked a spirit to step forward that wants to get a message across to their loved one? Because I was really thinking about this, because it was a really good challenge of connecting with your spiritual guides. It was a couple of years ago now. And so I shuffled this deck. I took this deck and I shuffled it and I pulled out a card and then I put it on Instagram, and I got feedback that, I think this was, you touched this person. I know who this person was who you were talking about. I don't do them on Instagram anymore because it's too much writing, and there's only so much writing that you can do on Instagram. And that's how the spirit messages come about, just because I wondered if I could do it. And at first I thought, it might have been my imagination, but I had too many people get back to me saying that, things that I've said was their loved ones had passed away. And then when I decided to do it on YouTube, because, I am a hermit through and through, and in my own readings, it was telling me that I need to put myself out there more, okay? And actually, this is why I started a YouTube channel, because my readings were telling me I needed to put myself out there more. And I thought, well, how am I going to do it? And then I saw Kelly from the Truth and Story when I was actually researching for a deck that I couldn't find on the Eclectic Tarot. They didn't have enough pictures on it, or they didn't have it on there. So I wanted to have a look at it, and she popped up. And that's when I found this whole tarot tube type of community. So this is my intuition that has led me to where I am now today. It all was just through a pack of cards. It was through me having a tarot reading myself at a market, not being happy with it, not being able to afford to go and get any more readings, so I bought my own deck, and that started me on this journey all the way through. Okay, so when it comes to spirit messages, I did one last year. I think it's already a year ago now. And I was still thinking, it could be on my imagination. Some people could have just seen what they wanted to see in my readings, all that type of thing. Because I have got a very good imagination. I really, really do. And then Fairy Wren Whispers, who some of you may know through her channel, she didn't have a YouTube channel then. She was on the internet, and Google come up, and my video was on there. So she decided, just out of curiosity, that she read it. And I'll see if I can find the card. And in this particular message, I kept getting a message to follow your own rainbow, follow your rainbow to your own happiness. I think that's what it was now. I can't exactly remember. I think it was it. Follow your own rainbow to your own happiness. I think that's what it was. So I kept getting that while I was doing this reading. Like, I reckon I heard that phrase in my head at least a dozen times. I'm trying to find this card now. What's the bet it's going to be the last one? It's always the way, isn't it? Here it is. And this is the card that it was. Okay. Follow your own rainbow to your own happiness. Or follow your rainbow to your own happiness, something. Anyway, I said it on the video properly. And, and the sewing machine there was sewing. I could see, all these things, even the dress. It was a good reading. Anyway, it ended up being her mother and her grandmother. I think it was her mother or her grandmother used to say that to her all the time. They had a Singer sewing machine. She used to sew a lot. Even the dress, and it ended up, she gave me 6 pages of feedback. That's how much it resonated with her. And I did do another video with her permission on what I touched on that was true. But I still doubted myself. I did. I was still doubting myself until I got that feedback from her, because it validated for me that what I was seeing, what I was feeling, sometimes what I taste, smell, it was true. It was true. Now, I know some people don't believe in my spirit messages, but I don't care anymore because I got the validation that what I was seeing was true. And her relatives, her grand uncle only come up in my last scrying message last week. So, you know, they still keep coming through. It come through to the point where I actually had a dream. And I was, because what happened now is that we are friends now outside of YouTube, and she's got her own channel now, so Fairy Wren Whispers, so please take a look at her channel. So we've become friends, and I had a dream about a soldier, and she was telling me that she had, I think it was her uncle and her great-grandfather or someone that was in the war. Anyway, she sent me a photo of two of them side by side, and I said, don't tell me, you know who, and I'll show you which one. Anyway, I picked it out, and it was, I think it was her uncle. I did actually picked it out, so I actually dreamt. So all these amazing things have been happening. The more I open up to this gift, the more I trust it now. I know what I say and see is true. I've only done one spirit message this year because I haven't felt called to do it. I will only do it when I felt called to do it, and it's usually when I can't get this deck out of my mind. I wake up in the morning and the first thing I see is this. I think about it during the day, and then I know that I need to do a spirit message. So I don't push it. That's my intuition telling me not to push it until this deck calls to me, which, funny enough, now that it's sitting there, it's calling to me. So when it comes to reading your cards, this is what you've got to trust in yourself. So if your tarot journey is pulling you in a different direction, don't fight it. I never thought in all these years ago that I would be doing spirit messages and I would be doing have a YouTube channel or anything like that. It's pulled me on a completely different journey to what I thought it would be. It truly, truly has. And all because I went to a local market and I had a reading that I didn't resonate with, and I bought my own deck, and it just snowballed from there. So that was my intuition, you know. So if you get a reading of someone and you don't resonate with them, or it doesn't seem true, ask questions, you know. Keep on asking until you get what you need, all right? Sometimes it can be helpful to look on YouTube and see how other people read. I mean, you might not you can't stand the way that I read the Tarot and Lenormand, but you might love the way that Kelly from the Truth and Story reads does the Tarot and the Lenormand. So go and book a reading with her, because everybody is different. Everybody is attracted to a tarot reader for different reasons, okay? So with mine, I class myself as a no-nonsense. I call myself, I'm not a cupcake reader, okay? So it's not all sweet and flowers and angels and things. I'm not like that. I will tell it like it is. I'm very, very compassionate when I tell it like it is. You know, I'm not nasty or anything like that, but I won't hide anything. If I see something in the cards, I will tell you, okay? That's just who I am. But I might be too confronting for you. You might someone who is all cupcakes and unicorns and things like that, and that's not a problem. Everybody's at a different journey in their life, so you've got to trust yourself. You've got to trust your intuition. So when you look at a card and you see it, and something like, this is for my next video that I'm going to do, so I do them in a batch. So I've got 3 High Priestess cards from the Twisted Tarot Tales, and this is one of them. Now, if I pull that card for the card of the day, straight away I would think I'm going to get a message from Spirit today, for sure. Whether it's actually doing a Spirit message, or if I'm out and about on my walks, I'll usually see things, you know, like might see, I don't know, runes in sticks or stones or whatever. But, you know, for sure, I am going to get a message from Spirit. And sometimes when I get this one, if I see this one, I will actually get a tarot deck in the mail as well, okay? Now there's another 2, because I brought the extended pack, and there's another 2 High Priestess with our beautiful Elvira, very sexy High Priestess, and this one here as well, where she's actually doing a tarot card reading. So if I actually got that one, I think I'm going to get a client that books a reading with me today. And then if I probably got this one, because it's at night time, I don't know, might be feeling a little sexy at night time, get a bit of action from my husband. You see what I mean? They're all different reactions to the same card, but because I've got a different image on it, you react to it a different way. So trust it. whatever you see in the card when you first look at it, trust it. Now, because these, okay, now I can't get this deck out of my mind, all right? So it's pestering me. So I'm going to pull a card, and let's see what Spirit wants us to know about trusting our intuition. Let's have a look if we can pull a card. I've never done this before. Usually I ask, when I shuffle this deck, I ask my goddess and guides, angels and guides, to come into this reading to help a spirit step forward who has a message they want to get out to their loved one. That's the spiel that I say in my head. Now I'm actually asking if Spirit can give us a message on trusting our intuition. I had a card pop right. There's actually three, but one is, can you see the one that's popped right up? That's the one that I'm going to take. All right. Now let's just have a look. And I just noticed I haven't even got the whole deck. How many cards are left in there? Oh, it was only the one. That's okay. I might turn that out because I might have a message later. And this is what we got. Now, she looks quite stern, looks quite to the book, you know. She'll do everything to the letter and to the book. And this is what Spirit's telling us not to do. Don't do everything by the book and to the letter. Trust your intuition. Let it come through. See, there's a book on the head there. Let your intuition come through, all right? Don't be so stubborn in your ways that you refuse to see other ways of looking at the tarot, okay? Just because it says in a book that the Three of Cups means a celebration, then that's all it means. Don't do that. Don't get stuck into that way. Really, really trust your intuition. The Spirit's telling us to let the messages come through, you know. Don't block them off because you're thinking of what the meanings of the tarot mean by a book or Kipper or the Norman or whatever it is. And this is the card that got stuck, and this is perfect about trusting your intuition. Look at that wolf. Look at that spirit, you know. And even that has got a hood over her head and she's got her arms crossed, but it's still telling you to trust that wild side of you. Trust the out of nowhere meanings that come to you when you're reading the tarot, okay? So that's the message that Spirit wants us to know. Let the wild thought come, okay? Because that's the right message for you. So I think I've gone on enough about trusting your intuition. I hope I've made sense, but I really wanted to get across about the fake tarot reader, the curses and so forth, that it's total nonsense. Please don't fall for it, particularly if you are feeling very vulnerable and low. If you know somebody that's had that said to them, please let them know that it's you know, it's just not right. And yeah, and just really trust in yourselves, people. Just trust in yourself. Trust in your own power of reading the tarot. You know, there are many, many more meanings to the tarot than the traditional ones. It's always good to have, you know, to know that the Three of Cups means a celebration, for instance. But because I'm a pictorial reader, I really will pick up on things. And you know what I'm picking up now? I'm seeing, I haven't got the deck with me, but in my mind I'm seeing the Hanson Roberts Three of Cups where the girls are huddled close together, but I'm seeing, what I can see in my mind is the flowers in the cup. So let your emotional, intuitive readings blossom and grow. Don't be too picky about your readings. Just let them, you know, and practice on people. I practiced on Nina doing a spirit message, I think 1 or 2, before I felt comfortable enough to actually do it on YouTube. So see if you can practice on people and see how your intuitive readings go as well. So I'll leave it there, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Until next time, this is Tracy.